Okay, so for today's video, I'll be giving you the full review of this keyboard. This is the Quantum QHM9800. It comes in at around 1500 on Amazon and their website itself. Its price has been dropped on Amazon because it used to be 1700 before, but now it's 1500 rupees. So yeah, same as last time, there will be a list of pros and then a list of cons and a typing test in between them. Right, so let's get started. So let's start off with the pros. The first one being the price. This comes in at 1500 on both Amazon and Quantum's website. I would say buy it from Amazon because I trust Amazon a lot more with their return policies, etc. In case you get a defective product, you can get it returned in pretty much the exact same day or maybe the day after, depending on when you receive the product. But yeah, that's my recommendation, buy it from Amazon. But let's get back to the main pro, which is this thing's price. This thing comes in at 1500 rupees and that's unheard of. We've never had a keyboard at 1500 which is backlit, multicolor backlit. That's also a full mechanical keyboard. This is a full-size keyboard, as you can see the number pad is right here. But this is a full-sized backlit mechanical keyboard for 1500 rupees. And that's a really good deal. So if you're looking for an easy recommendation, best keyboard under 1500, this is it. There's no other competitor around 1500 for around 1500, right? But if your budget can be stretched, then you may want to stick around till the end of this video and watch my next video as well, which will be coming out tomorrow, right? If your budget can be stretched. Okay, so the next pro is this thing comes with hot swappable switches, which means that the motherboard that's inside this keyboard isn't actually soldered to the switch. Like the switch doesn't get soldered to the motherboard, it can just be removed because the plate underneath this has been fitted in such a way that you can just take this off and put it back in using a simple tool. And that's that feature, again, it's unheard of at this price. Like literally it's never been seen for what is essentially 1500 rupees or $17 or something like that, right? So that's a really good deal. Which just having that alone, even if it was some random company or whatever, Quantum is actually a decent company, it's been around for some time, but even if it was some random company, it doesn't matter. That feature alone is a huge thing, because that means you can replace all of these 104 switches for a new one, for some new switches. So you could change these blue switches to some browns or reds or blacks by Cherry MX or Jixian or whatever. Any switch, pretty much any switch will fit, right? Let me attach that back on. And the next pro about this keyboard is the all key anti-ghosting / N key rollover, which means that basically you can press each and every one of these keys at the same time and they would all register. There's no limit. Now I'm mentioning this because a lot of keyboards at this price point don't have that feature called full key anti-ghosting or N key rollover. They may have like 19 key rollover or 4 key rollover even, but what you really want is N key rollover, which means that while you're gaming, say if you need to jump while also moving right, left, while also firing a weapon or using an ability or whatever, you can press as many of these keys as you want, as you possibly can, right? As you physically can. Like, so they will all register, which is a great feature for gaming. And obviously there's no latency in this keyboard. There's no delay when typing or gaming or whatever. There's no like, I press W and then it takes a moment for it to register. That's not going to happen, obviously. So the next huge pro is the 1-year warranty. Now I mentioned this because their warranty service is actually way better than all the competitors out there like Cosmic Byte and Red Gear or Red Dragon, etc. and esports. Their warranty services are pretty pathetic. I mean, they take forever just to get your product replaced or corrected or fixed, and it's just not good, right? No one wants that. No one wants to wait a month just to get their product returned or replaced. So yeah, that's a good thing to note that this company will provide a decent warranty, service and experience. Next big pro, is it has so many service centers. This company, Quantum High Tech, have 600 service centers all around India. So chances are that you probably live in a city which has a service center, which is a good thing because none of the other companies have service centers as far as I know. Cosmic Byte does not have any service center. Neither does Red Gear as far as I know. This is all from what I know, obviously, but I don't think Cosmic Byte or Red Gear or any of these companies have 600 service centers, right? As far as I know, they have 0. There's none in my city or in my area or even I think my state, right? So that's a huge thing, because in case say one of these switches stops working, say alt stops working, so rather than having to contact the warranty services online, you can just go to one of these service centers and they can just check it out, fix it and give it back to you in probably less than 30 minutes. I'm guessing that's the max it would take, right? So repairs can be done locally and more efficiently and a lot quicker, and that's a huge thing because that's only mainly there with like high-end keyboards, like high-end companies like HP or Dell or Lenovo, the high-end companies, they will provide that kind of experience and service. So it's nice to see that at this price, you can have that kind of experience and smooth service from the company, right? So this thing also has multiple effects which can be changed from here, and that's a good pro as well because some don't have these like sliding or moving effects available at 1500, right? So that's a good thing to note, and that's one of the pros of this keyboard. So let's move on to the typing test and then we'll look at all the cons of this keyboard. So this is the typing test for this keyboard, and you can judge and listen for yourself and see how this sounds. So let's start off with the cons of this keyboard. The first one being the build quality. It is very cheaply built. It's completely made of plastic. There's no metal frame on top or whatever, or at the bottom. There's no metal front plate either. It's terribly built. As you can see, it's completely plastic. And part of the build includes this absolutely terrible cable. I mean, I don't know why they didn't give a braided cable, because it's not that much more. And it doesn't cost that much to insert that, but they had to save costs literally wherever they could, I guess. So that's probably why they gave such a terrible build quality, but it is what it is, right? It's 1500 mechanical keyboard, you can't complain that much. But yeah, this cable especially really bothers me because it will break. I know it will break because I've experienced this cable before and it's terrible. It breaks very quickly as far as I know. But some of them do last quite a long time. I do have some of those cables that do last some time, but they're more prone to breaking or damage. They're more susceptible to damage, right? So the next con is the stabilizers. Now this is a huge issue for me because I don't normally mind the average or the cheaply made kind of stabilizers, because we're looking at budget keyboards here, right? So it's not a huge issue. It's not that big of an issue. You can always mod it yourself and whatever, but these stabilizers are absolutely terrible. I mean, I'll just show you. If you just look at the spacebar here. First of all, what I need to mention is the stabilizer is not the one that's built into the keyboard itself. This is the stabilizer that sticks out like you can actually see the metal lines, the metal prongs here, right? So those are terrible quality as compared to the ones that stay inside the plate underneath the front board of this keyboard, right? If you can see here, look, if I hit it here, nothing happens. This is the sound of me hitting plastic, right? My fingernail hitting the plastic. But here, the right side of the spacebar is terrible, and that happens because a lot of these types of stabilizers are made cheaply and they don't work as well as they should, right? So it rattles so much, it's so annoying. It really bothers me because whenever I type, I can hear that, like I can even feel it. I can feel how it vibrates. If I bring that closer to the mic, you can probably hear it better. It's difficult for the microphone to pick up, I think, but it is really annoying. It's a really annoying noise. It's a really annoying sound, and that bothers me a lot. It could be that my product is defective, but the chances of having a defective product are less, so think of it what you want, but my stabilizers are terrible. Another way to show you how cheaply made the stabilizers are is if you look at this right here. If you look at the enter key, look how much it like moves. Like it's literally, it's like you can realign the whole keycap. It's terrible. It's not good quality at all. Even the shift, look, if I move these two together, I can literally align them again in a different manner. And here as well, if you look carefully, the key wobble is insane, and that's because of these cheaply made, poor and terrible stabilizers. These B23 switches are unheard of. Literally no one has ever heard of these switches. And that makes me wonder if these are actually trustworthy, because these switches are made by Quantum itself. Quantum, the website Quantum, right? Sorry, the company Quantum. They make these switches themselves, they manufacture it and they put it into their products. But they aren't as well known as, say, Cherry MX or Outemu or Jixian, Kale, Gateron, all of these well-known brands for switches. These are privately made by Quantum itself, so I cannot comment on their reliability. But my best guess would be that something will go wrong in this keyboard about in a year down the line, and you will start to see some problems, I'm guessing, because it's unheard of. It's not trustworthy. That's my whole point. These other brands like Kale, Cherry MX, they've established themselves as being good, reliable brands. That's why so many keyboards use those switches and switches from those companies, right? This is brand new, made by this company itself, and this company itself is also not a huge company like Logitech or Razer, none of the big gaming names. So that's an issue you need to be aware of. The switches are some random unknown switches that I think will be unreliable. The next con I would say is the metallic noise that comes out of these switches. So if you just listen carefully for a moment. So this is an issue because I'm not sure what this sound is coming from. I think it's actually the switch itself, like the springs perhaps in the switch, because that noise can only occur like when something hits against something else whilst you push the switch down, right? So something is colliding against something else, or maybe it's the spring. But either way, it's not a good thing to have, because that means that there is some extremely minor, obviously, but repetitive damage being done inside the switch. And that's not good for longevity or its lifespan. Okay, so you need to be aware of that noise, because on some keyboards it happens because there's a metal backplate here, right? This whole thing, the whole front of the keyboard is made out of metal, not the switches, not the keycaps, but this plate thing here and all the way underneath is made of metal, and that could cause that noise sometime. But it's definitely not the case here because this is a complete plastic build. Okay, So you need to keep that in your mind before buying this. So the next issue slash con with this keyboard is that mine actually came a bit bent. Now in the last video I was looking at through the camera and I thought it might have been because of that, but upon inspecting it further I saw that the actual keyboard is slightly bent. Like it curves down just very slightly. It's not an issue. Like I would say, I think it's probably because my product is a bit defective maybe, or it got damaged during its travel or its transit. But yeah, that this middle part does go down. It may be a necessary feature, or like something that they've added themselves on purpose, because it could help with typing or whatever, make it sink a bit lower so that you can type appropriately and whatnot. So that could be a feature perhaps. But yeah, that's something you need to note, that mine, as far as I know, mine is slightly curved slash bent. It might show up on the camera here. So the next con with this keyboard is that there's no switch puller that came with this keyboard. That's I don't know why they did this. Adding a switch puller would have barely cost any money, I think, because buying them separately is so expensive. They go up to like 700, 800, 1000, 1500 even. I've seen some switch pullers, and that's so unnecessary, because why should I pay half the price of the keyboard just to remove some switches from this, right? So they should have added some little tool to help pull the switches off, like it's available in most hot swappable keyboards, and I would have liked to see that. The next issue is it's actually really annoying for me, because while gaming this thing slides around so much. Like if I'm pushing down on W, this look, it slightly slides forward, and if I switch back, it slightly slides forward each time I press W. And that will happen whenever you type, right? Whenever you're applying a bit more force than usual, it will slide, because there's no proper, as you can see here, there's no proper rubberized bottom part to this keyboard. There's only two slits up here and here in the top right corners, but there's nothing at the bottom. It's all plastic. Even if I put this away, it's all plastic, and it's so annoying. It's literally so annoying, because every time I'm typing or playing a game or something, it will randomly slide out. Now I have used this with a mouse pad slash mouse mat that's extended, and that's really nice, and it doesn't slide around on that at all. But yeah, it is a bit slippery, lot slipperier than usual, I would say. That is an issue you need to keep in mind. So those were all the cons. Now let's look at just some important things that I need to talk about. So this is just a small tutorial on how you might be able to remove these switches using just things you might have lying around. So the way I did it is I took this thing that's there in most geometry boxes and whatnot, and if you see right here, there's these two holes, right? If you look very closely, it's difficult to film this actually, but yeah, so you want to get it to fit just like that. It's not safe at all, I'm already warning you. This is a bit riskier, right? So just loosen it a bit, keep loosening it, and do the same thing on the other side. You will find those two holes there as well. Slowly get it looser and looser. Right there. And then try pulling it off, but it's still not loose enough, so we'll have to apply a bit more force still. And there it is. This one came off a lot easier because I've already removed it once and it got a bit looser as you remove it more than once. So I would suggest, then the way you reinstall it is just like that. It's back in. So this is not a safe method at all. I'm already warning you. Do it at your own risk. This switch seems very fine. I've took it out a few times and it still works perfectly fine. You cannot do it on this side or this side right here. You must do it on the top and the bottom part. But this came off really easily for me because I've already removed it multiple times. But you might need two of these, or say just this and a nail cutter, you know, the thing, the pick on the nail cutter, and use both of them on each side, like this here and then the nail cutter on this side, to just slowly lever it out. And do it carefully and do it until you get good at it, because like practice a bit I guess on this one, because I don't really use the pause one at all, so I tried it a couple of times on this. In case the switch gets damaged, then this is unnecessary for me. So yeah, that's just a small little way of how I did it. It will be tighter for you than what it looks like in the video because I've removed it multiple times. So use two of these maybe, or a nail cutter on this, and do it on both sides at once and slowly lever it off. Slowly just take this and keep levering it on both sides until it comes off. So in conclusion, this is an absolutely brilliant keyboard for the price. It's only 1500 rupees. It's a full-sized mechanical backlit, multicolored backlit gaming keyboard for only 1500, and we have not seen that yet, and I don't think we will see that ever again. It's extremely rare. This is my first time ever seeing something so cheap, so good and so cheap, right? Such a good deal. I've never seen such a good deal for around 1500 in terms of keyboards. So if you're literally strict on a budget, then go buy this. If you literally can't spend more money and you're locked at that price, then go get this keyboard. It's the best for that price, 1500. This is it. But my recommendation would be, if you can, then wait, save up more, or just spend more and get something a bit more expensive, like for 2000 or 2200. I know that's 1.5 times or something like that the price of this keyboard, but it's honestly worth it. It literally, in my opinion, is worth it. There's so many things that make this keyboard feel cheap and keep reminding you that you got this for a certain price, right? And I don't like that feeling, like these weird stabilizers, this how it just slides around so easily, the weird space bar as well, the random unknown switches, and there's many things that add up to even the longevity of this keyboard. Because if you buy something like a Cosmic Byte keyboard or a Red Gear keyboard for around 2000, it will last way more than this one. In my opinion, it will last a lot longer. So if you can spend the extra money, then go for something a bit different. But if you're stuck at that price point, that's it. This is the best possible deal for 1500. So I want to talk about my channel a bit more, because I started this channel off as, I don't know, it was just to help boost my confidence, I guess, help improve my speaking skills so that I can convey a point that I'm trying to convey, right? But now it's actually grown a lot. It's grown so much in just 1 month, and I thank you all for that. I know it's only 100 subscribers, I guess, but it means a lot to me that 120 or 130 people have subscribed to my channel and are enjoying the content that I'm giving them. That's a good feeling, you know. So I thank you all for that, those of you who have subscribed and helped me reach 100. That too so quickly. I was so shocked, honestly. When I dropped my first video, I was genuinely shocked that I've reached 100 subs. But yeah, thank you for that. And also the number of views I get, like it's in the thousands, and I'm not sure if that's a lot or if it's barely anything, but to me that's a lot. I think the fact that 1,000 people or 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people decided to watch my video and gain some information and enjoyed it and liked it and etc. Right? So that means a lot to me. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for helping me reach so many views and 100 subs in such a short time. I think only 4 weeks, right? So I thank you all for that. Stay tuned for more content. Oh, and also I wanted to know if you guys would enjoy maybe a setup tour. I guess I was thinking I could do a setup tour right after my next video. in a short break or so. I would take a break for like 5-6 days like last time. But yeah, let me know if you guys would be interested in a setup tour or something like that. Maybe, yeah, just a setup tour. And yeah, thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care, and bye.